just remember the appendix as a lymphatic structure. All of this is lymphatic tissue and a cross-section of the appendix. And that will just serve you well as a professional in your careers. Okay, if you need a little break, you can pause. These are never testable scanning electron micrographs. As I just slip these in here to give you a moment to stretch, extend your arm, and then we can finish up with this exact Kodachromes. As I mentioned before, these are designed to wean you away from visual regurgitation. I said I take pride in my students being able to identify even though they haven't seen that exact Kodachrome before. All right, and we'll do a few next week. Not too many, but just a couple or few, just to get you off of this. I can only identify it if I see the same slide again, and then you'll get better and better at it for the second and the third. And that, can you figure out your orientation on this anatomical specimen? Just a little bit different than you're used to. What structures am I looking at? What's my perspective in looking at this cadaver presentation? There's one structure that's twice normal size that's intended to really get your bearings on this cadaver. So you have your bearings. If you could tell me, are you looking in on the right side or the left side of this cadaver? 50-50, pretty good odds. You like that for next week. Another way to think of this is this cadaver tilted to the right or tilted to the left? And that you're looking in on the left side or the right side. All right, this should tip you off. Enormous. What's that? It's a spleen. So even though it's not directly relating to GI, it's still a structure that always gives you your bearings in the abdominal cavity. And this is actually splenomegaly. That's one reason we did this one. Enlarged. And a thrombocytopenic turbara. That tells you it's got to be the upper left quadrant. So is this tilted to the left or to the right? Yeah, it's tilted to the right to get a really good look in on the left-hand side. So now knowing that, you could tell me what this is. Be specific. Yeah, that's the left lobe of the liver. All right, if you're specific, tell me as close as you can tell me, that's the left lobe. Because you know that's towards the splenic side. Where's the right? Yeah, it's over here in the shadow, because it's tilted to that side. What do you see in relief? Yeah, there's the falciform ligament, which you know comes out in between those lobes. And then you would know what this is, perfectly demonstrated by this tilt. There's the stomach, right? Muscular pouch, and then all of this. Yeah, greater omentum. A lot of fat deposition here. Hanging off the greater curvature of your stomach. There's also a great slide to show this structure. See who are the gifted gross anatomy students. What is that? It's the diaphragm. And that the diaphragm, unlike most people and even profs tend to think who haven't seen it, is not just a sheet. This is all tendon on the top there. And that the muscle actually curves down to form a cone along the side. So that's the muscle part of the diaphragm. And that it's not just a flat sheet over the top, which is how it's usually depicted. So this is another good example, a good specimen to show what the diaphragm really looks like as this cone rather than a sheet. But you don't have to know that at all. Okay, try another one. Get your bearings. Things have been shifted around a little bit here, but that shouldn't throw you. You should be able to figure things out. Very important is to know what this is. Which is right lobe of the liver. So now you know this is upper right, upper left, abdominal area. What's this? Yeah, the remains of the gallbladder. Now sort of shrunken in, peeks out underneath the right lobe of the liver. Now you're really good if you could tell me specifically what this is. What specifically would you call that? Seeing this association. Gotta be the ileum, because you actually see it attaching to the side of the colon in the lower right-hand side. What would you call that? The IC junction. Ileocecum is here. So that's what it was done, to shift this so we could really see a good example of the IC junction. Also to show all of this. What is all of that? A hint, it's supporting all of this. Yeah, this is mesentery, supporting the small bowel. You see all these vascular structures, what we call the arcades going through it. How about telling me what this is? You never saw it before. On this, we haven't saw this slide before, but you know what this is. What is it? It's a T. coli, sure. One of those longitudinal bands on the surface of the colon. One of these pouches. Haustra. A little deflated here, but I usually like to get something a little more obvious. So that would be different Kodachrome should be able to identify those basic structures. If you're really good, you could tell me what that is. What do you think that is? It's the right kidney. That's what we'll pick up on after next week. Thing is, the kidney is underneath this layer. What is that layer? That you could tell me. Now it's a little cloudy. Should be much clearer. Not visceral. This is parietal peritoneum. And that your kidneys are actually outside or underneath the parietal peritoneum. It's actually sort of an odd placement for these organs to be underneath that wall peritoneum. And you can see a little bit right there. There's parietal. All right, that's enough. What will come later. New Kodachrome, same tissue. What compartment of the GI tract is this a histological section of? And for next week, getting organized is half the battle. And you're first thinking, okay, what compartments should I know? And it really comes down to, is it esophagus? Is it stomach? Is it duodenum, ileum, or colon? Those are the compartments you're histologically responsible for. You got it narrowed down when you're in those areas. And then you start thinking, do I see stratified squamous? Do I see villi? Gastric pits? Do I see goblet cells and crypts? You know, these primary structures that you know well by now. What am I seeing here? I think the one thing that should jump out at you would be these bubbles. See them? What are those? Well, the word bubbles should tip you off. Goblet cells, right? Tremendous number of goblet cells. And then you think, do I see villi? Fingers sticking up into the lumen. Nope, it's flat. No villi. So now you should know where this is. Colon, all the way. The compartment is the colon. No villi, crypts, dominated by goblet cells. So a large part of that is to see what's not there. So you sort of back into the identification, subtracting things. So yeah, that could only add up to colonic histology. Try another one. Where's this from? There's one structure I would want you to see to tell me what compartment this is from. GI. Do you see villi? What are these? Fingers? Sure, they're villi. So where is this from? Well, the real acceptable answer is small intestine. Because I don't show you anything else to be any closer than small intestine. You're looking here, do you see Brunner's glands? Are you hallucinating? Maybe by now. Nope, there's nothing there. You see Peyer's patches? Nope, nothing there. So all I could expect, by virtue of seeing villi, this has to be small intestine. Now you could tell me what these are. Crypts, intestinal glands, that's for sure. Or once again, the bubbles. See them? Which are goblet cells. Once again, I would magnify a bit more for those. And then for advanced students, they learn silhouettes. Actually picking up on the chainsaw look for villi because of all the goblet cells. It's actually from ileum because of the profusion of goblet cells. Duodenum and jejunum, they're just starting to get more numerous. But here, it's just identify the dominant structure to tell you what compartment it's from. All right? Try another.